Hi, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans, where our tagline is What's Brewing in Montpelier. Joining me today in studio is Katie O'Rourke, who is a sole owner and proprietor of Katie O'Rourke Art.
Yes.
Nice to have you here, Katie.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is great. So could you tell those listening and me a little bit about yourself and then your business?
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
So I'm Katie O'Rourke. I am an artist. I'm a painter. And I paint in acrylics and oils and some watercolor, mostly abstract landscape work.
Oh, nice.
And when my daughter was in 7th grade, I realized she didn't play any sports and wasn't into theater or anything. So I thought, I bet I could teach kids how to make art.
Yeah.
So that was how it started, is I started with my daughter and a bunch of friends and teaching them because I was too scared to teach adults. And I thought, 7th and 8th graders, perfect.
That's good. Well, that's a great age anyway, because they still have a little respect, and you can talk to them like grown-ups, sort of.
Exactly.
Good.
Yes. So I started teaching, but I share, we call it the upstairs studio, is where I'm located on Main Street above the Savoy Theater. And I share that space with Sam Colt, who is another local artist. And we found that space. She was working at the Savoy, and our kids wanted to hang out. So we set up a little play date for our kids to hang out. And
nice.
We didn't really know each other. I didn't know she was an artist. She didn't know I was an artist. And we went to the Kent on a little date and realized we both had this love for art.
Meant to be.
Exactly. And she said, I have a space that I want to rent. Would you be interested in sharing it? And 2 weeks later, we signed the lease.
Oh, that's perfect.
On our space, which was 8 years ago.
That's great. And so you teach, have you expanded beyond
yes.
beyond the kids? I bet you're doing adults.
Yes. So my 7th graders are now 19 years old.
Wow.
So as they grew and became young adults, I thought, maybe I'll teach adults. I think I could do this. These guys are
I bet there's a lot of interest in it.
Yes, yeah. That's why I'm here today, though, too, is to let people know, get more people to know that there are painting classes right here in Montpelier.
That's very nice.
That you can take.
What I didn't know was how many businesses are above.
I know.
Above there's no front to your business, no street front.
No.
It's upstairs.
Yes.
And there's a lot of hidden talent in this town.
There is. There's lots of upstairs studios, not just us, but even in our building we have the drawing board. So we have the art store, we have the Savoy Theater, then upstairs is Sam and I, and then next to us is Chris Jeffries, who's another artist. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's
the building to be in. How
cool little space.
Is it one of those buildings with high ceilings and a little bit of quaint?
It is. It's beautiful. It has like brick walls, so you feel like you're downtown. I'm a country girl. I live in Worcester, so when I come to my studio, it's like, ooh, I'm in the city.
I love it when they have the brick walls. It just adds so much to it.
It's beautiful.
That's great. So. You just said you paint in acrylics and other forms. And where do people do stuff with this, with the talent that you've taught them? Do they have jobs that are in the business?
Yes. So mostly I teach, people who maybe they always wanted to make art, but they didn't have the opportunity, or they're looking for community, wanting to have a creative outlet. I say it's my jam, but I love working with beginner artists and people who are a little intimidated and afraid, because I think art is for everyone, that everybody can make art, and we take your expectations and kind of throw them out the door and just give yourself grace and learn something new, and don't worry about the outcome.
That's
just
great.
enjoy
But have any
making.
of them actually taken that skill
I think they take it, and have
gone to work with it.
or had shows. Use it.
Cool.
Use it in their not only their own artwork, but in their lives. I think it helps people to let go of some stuff that they need to.
And express themselves, right?
That's great. And not worry so much.
That is wonderful. So, and are you the only artist in town that trains people, that teaches people?
So it's interesting. When I first started, there wasn't a lot of people doing it, but now, which is awesome, we have many artists that teach. So just at the drawing board alone, Suzanne Rexford is an amazing artist, and she teaches classes at the Senior Center and at her house. And so you have the Senior Center, T.W. Wood, Center for Arts and Learning, and Wilder Art Studio, which are all teaching classes. So downtown's got lots of good things happening.
So you got to come on downtown.
Yes.
Because we've got to get people back now. We were talking before the show, you didn't get impacted by the flood, by the actual water and the damage.
Yes.
But folks not coming downtown was a problem.
It's
and
a
especially,
huge problem.
I'm sure COVID that would have bothered you.
Yeah. COVID, my husband's a musician. So when COVID hit, he had to, he was in big trouble, right? Because everything shut down. And so we say we high-fived because I got to work because I could do things online. So I started to teach online because we couldn't do in person.
Right.
So that was a really great experience and worked out very well for me. And then things started to come back into person, which was great. And then the flood hit, which was a huge bummer. And I'm on the second floor, so I wasn't affected by water, but our whole building was, shut down. And I work every Friday at the drawing board, so I get to see how much downtown has been affected by that. And
it's bad.
It was really bad. This summer was very, very hard and very, very quiet. So we just don't see the traffic that we used to see.
And it's important to come downtown and to support you all.
It's so important, We're like one of the drawing boards, one of the only boutique art stores left in the state. I think there's 3 others maybe. So.
Now, did they get flooded out?
Oh, totally. They lost their basement.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff there.
I know.
Wow.
I know, but they're back, and it's beautiful, and it's, it has all the beautiful little, like the paints that I love, the pastels, all the gorgeous
I don't know
material.
much about your world, but when I go in there to get a painting framed, I'm just fascinated walking around looking at all the stuff they have.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were flooded out. I thought they might be just
I know,
high
we
enough.
sit a little bit higher on that side of the town.
Yeah.
So, and even our buildings raised up a little bit, but they all had basements, the Savoy and the drawing board, which just...
And I was listening to the town trying to get people to move all of the equipment, the heaters. But, when you look at some of these buildings, there's just no place.
So where do we go?
Yeah, exactly. You can't put it outside.
No.
It's got to go in the building itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we got to encourage people to buy local and come on downtown.
Absolutely. So I teach classes. I do 6-week sessions of classes, and all the materials that I use in my classes can be purchased at the drawing board.
There you
so
go.
I have a really
Perfect.
nice relationship with them and try to support buying local as much as I can.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, exciting for you. Where did you learn all of this? Did you go to school
I
to learn
did.
this?
I'm originally from Albany, New York, and I went to Russell Sage College, and I got a degree in creative arts and therapy and psychology, but my concentration in creative arts and therapy was visual art. So I took a ton of art classes.
Great.
I loved it. I did was a creative art therapist for a hot minute and decided it wasn't for me. And it turns out that's probably why I love working with beginners, and my classes are focused on self-esteem building and risk-taking, so my background kind of pops right in there.
I did a paint and sip.
Yes.
I did, and I was talked into it. And I was blown away by what it looked like.
Yes.
I actually have a friend of mine who is crazy about Halloween, and this was a Halloween motif of and darn if it wasn't good.
Right.
I was just surprised.
It's a skill that you build, but also you get a teacher that walks you step by step. And I do those. I do monthly paint and sips in my studio.
Oh, we have to chat.
Yes.
I'm hung up on these things. We had more fun. It was just so much fun.
Yeah,
I felt so proud of myself.
Yes, because you made something out of nothing.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
And she had some guy walking around with all the paints we needed. Of course, by the time I finished, I have to learn how to be a little bit more neat and tidy. Because my clothes, everything, what a mess. But
I'm
it
a
was
little
fun.
sloppy too. It's all right.
That's fun. So what made you pick Montpelier and
I
Vermont?
was.
To start with Vermont from Albany.
Well, I moved from Albany to Killington, and I lived in Killington, Rutland area for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And when I lived there, I worked in the ski resort, but I also was a tour guide for Vermont and New Hampshire.
Oh, what fun.
So we would come to Montpelier, and I met Burr Morse when I was 23 years old,
There you
doing
go.
tours,
Right.
bus tours at Morse Farm, and I always loved Montpelier. And my husband and I, we moved. We had an opportunity to move towards New York City, so we moved and lived in Connecticut. Then we did a stint in Boston, and we wanted to come back to Vermont. And I said, "What about Montpelier? I just love it." And he was from Burlington, born and raised, so he was like, "Montpelier."
We won't hold that against him.
Yeah. So he wasn't so psyched about Montpelier,
Right.
but we came here and visited, and he fell in love too.
That's great.
And
Well, we've just grown so much with restaurants and stores,
Yes,
which is
yeah.
why I'm hoping that this video will let people know how much we have to offer down here.
Oh, so
you know?
much. And we moved here 20 years ago, 19 years ago, to Worcester. And then, I always wanted to have a studio in Montpelier. So
That's great. And you are a sole proprietor. You don't employ folks, but
Yes.
but you train them, so that's a good
Exactly,
thing. Are you
yeah.
ever looking to expand, or?
I would love to expand online. I like what I'm doing in person. I teach every week. I have 2 classes a week. I actually have a class right after this.
Oh, really?
So I go from here to there.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I do workshops, and I do the paint and sip. And then I would like to do a little bit more online to have a
Who was
broader
it?
audience.
I am so old. John Nagy? Oh, I knew it. You're a
Yes,
little younger.
sorry.
There's a guy on TV that would paint, just as you're
Yeah.
talking about, and teach people how. It was sort of like a paint and sip by TV.
By video.
And everybody loved him. And when
And
we
it
were-
wasn't Bob Ross. That's
No.
what everybody talks about.
No,
Yes.
John Nagy. I'm sure that's his name. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, let me know.
Well, I'll have to go look him up.
But that was a long time ago, and we'd sit because we were young with our crayons and
Yes.
try to draw like he did. But that, I think people feel comfortable about.
I do too, and some people are, they're comfortable in their home, or
Yeah.
whatever it is that they can't
Right.
come out. Maybe they can't get to where they
Yeah.
need to be. So to be able
I think
to
COVID
share
is
that,
sort of, if there is a benefit, it's taught people to perhaps by Zoom or that sort of thing. And
Yeah, which is
cool.
what I did during COVID, and I kind of would like to do that again.
That's
in
great.
Yeah.
Well, I think people are used to it. It's not a foreign thing to do anymore. They're just on Zoom. And what fun to do that. So if you make a mistake, nobody could see
Nobody
it.
knows. And if you make
I
a
like
mistake
that.
in my class, it usually turns into something great.
Yeah,
So
but-
I celebrate those.
So the holidays are coming upon us. Do you have anything that you're looking forward to doing to get folks to come into the store? 'Cause
Yes.
when is this Saturday? It's the 14th today, I think.
Yes.
They have the lighting of the
I know
bridges.
the bridge.
Yeah.
Saturday. That's going to be gorgeous. So we have Art Walk is the first Friday
right.
in downtown, and we'll be open for that.
Great.
That's fabulous. Yeah. So that's 4 to 8. We'll do that, and come check us out at our
yes, I'm
studio.
gonna do that.
We'll have art for sale. We have gift certificates for
Nice.
classes or art. So
Great.
Yeah.
And before we close, I really thank you. This has been really wonderful. I want to make sure we do a shout out to Montpelier Alive.
Oh,
because this year,
Montpelier Alive.
aren't they amazing?
They're the best.
Katie, I swear, I don't know how she finds the energy. She's
yes,
amazing.
She's amazing.
And it's their 25th year anniversary this year.
Yes.
And I think they're really looking for the lighting of the bridges to really be an attraction to invite people to come downtown.
Yeah. It's going to be
And,
gorgeous.
it's gonna be
And Montpelier Alive, the way they promote Art Walk has been unbelievable.
Oh, really?
That has changed the trajectory for a lot of artists, because that's when people come see our
Right,
work. And we
right.
have, I'm going to say, 50 to 125 people come through our doors
Wow.
from 4 to 8
That's great.
that are engaged and
great.
follow our work, and it's just
Nice.
they've made, that's been wonderful
Yeah,
for us
there's so many
artists.
things. They're so
Yeah.
clever, all the things they come up with. So, Katie O'Rourke, thank you very much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you for having
Pleasure to
me.
meet you.
Come to a paint and
Thank
sip.
you. Come downtown, folks. Shop local.
Yes.
Great gifts for Christmas
That's
paintings.
right. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans, where our tagline is, "What's brewing in Montpelier?"